We are back, baby. We are fucking back. We are back. Classic. We are back.
We're back, baby. Niner Family Huddle Show with another episode. It's been about 2 weeks. Jason still got that Hawaiian tan going. And we're going to talk. He's glowing. Today we're going to talk a little draft right after this. All right, let's do a little draft review. There's a saying in the NFL that you really shouldn't judge a draft class or any individual player until he's been in the league for 3 years. So we're going to take a look at the 2021, which is now 4 years. We're going on 4 years. But it's an interesting draft, and it plays into why the Niners are where their roster is where it is today. And we'll take a look at the 2022 draft, which has only been in the league for 2 years now, going on 3. But I think when you look at it, I think we can make a pretty fair judgment on it. So let's start with 2021. I'm going to share the screen here. Let me just ask you guys this as I'm pulling this up. What do you remember most about going into the draft in 2021? Because that was Hype City.
That was crazy. I remember just trying to convince myself that all those draft picks we traded away was like a good idea, and then looking at the quarterbacks and picking which one was going to be like the next Tom Brady. I remember just being delusional. That's what I remember.
I kept hoping there was a way that Zach Wilson was going to fall to the Niners.
I remember that too.
That was like who I really wanted out of that draft. Like I guess I listened to Chris Sims too much at the time or something, but I was just like, dude, Zach Wilson's sounds like he's actually the best one. And I don't think they're going to get him, but man, if there's some way, like maybe the Jets will take Justin Fields. I don't know. And so I remember thinking like, the Niners were in third position, and there was two guys that I really wanted, Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson, and it was just like, man, don't pick Mac Jones. So it's funny because I really wanted Zach Wilson, and I didn't fall in love with any of the other options, and I was fine with Trey because of, what the promise he had. Honestly, I probably would have been fine with Justin Fields too. I would have talked myself into him. I was not high on Mac Jones, and I felt like it was going to be a waste if they picked Mac Jones, and it seemed like so many people were saying, "Oh, it's going to be Mac Jones," and I was like, "No, all this for Mac Jones? Oh my god!"
That's our backup quarterback you're disrespecting right now.
I know, but I like him as a backup quarterback. I don't like him as a 3 first-round picks draftee
and a third. Not nothing. Yeah, I just remember like consuming so much 49er content, everyone trying to guess who it was, and are the 49ers leaning this way or that way? Are they leaking anything? Is the Mac Jones stuff, are they just blowing smoke? Is it real? I just remember ultimately thinking like kind of like you said, Steven, Chris Sims had me thinking Zach Wilson was the next Aaron Rodgers as far as like arm talent goes. And I mean, he still does have like really good arm talent. And then I just remember thinking, like, I'd be happy because we knew on draft day, like, it's going to be Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. The draft really started at 3 with the Niners. And I remember thinking, just give me Trey Lance or Justin Fields. But just do not give me Mac Jones. I do not want Mac Jones. Trey Lance or Justin Fields, I'm fine with that. And I was actually at my buddy's 30th birthday. We went to Idaho. We went golfing. Gosh, what's that? Oh, Coeur d'Alene. We went to Coeur d'Alene to play golf, and we had a bunch of guys up there watching the draft. And I remember when they announced Trey's name, I was like really excited. And I remember looking at his shoes. He had like these real nice dress shoes on. I think he had like little metal spikes on them, like a spiked collared necklace, which was kind of weird. But yeah, I remember being really excited for Trey, and yeah, unfortunately that didn't really go so well. So there's the number 1 pick, Trey Lance. Well, let's give each pick a letter grade, and let's base it off not just where they picked them, but what the Niners got out of it. Um, yeah. So, like for example, Trey Lance, they didn't just pick him third; they spent 3 first-round picks on him, including one of which was obviously the third overall pick and a third-round pick. And they got, I mean, here are his stats right here: 12 games he appeared in, 81 of 43, barely 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 picks, couple rushing yards. Broke his leg, and that ended his 49er career. Which, by the way, Trey just signed with the Chargers.
Yep.
I think
it's actually a decent spot for him.
I think it's a great spot for him. Hopefully, Jim Harbaugh can coach him up, and who knows? We'll see what happens there. But as far as a letter grade, what would you give the Trey Lance draft pick?
F-, the worst possible grade you could ever receive. Yeah, 0%. If it was a test.
I mean, we're judging this on results, right?
Yeah,
like, we're not.
Yeah, we're looking back on it now. We know.
On results, it's a big fat F. I mean, there's no way you can say anything else because of what they gave up to get it and what they got for it. You know, like it just there's even like I don't think Trey is a bust to the level of like guys like Jamarcus Russell or other guys that were just like, you know,
Ryan Leaf.
they're supposed to take the league by storm and like just horribly failed. Like Trey, I think there was an unknown aspect to him coming in. Like everybody's like, yeah, he's got some promise, but we'll see. Can it translate? We'll see. So there was like that unknown, and he never really got going to like show it. But put all that aside, like without giving him the benefit of the doubt, if it's just purely based on results, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's an F, unfortunately, and it sucks because I like Trey. I think he's a humble young man who got put in a really tough spot and suffered a really bad injury, and then had this little Mr. Relevant phenom come in, and it was over. So I really feel bad for him, and I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm just hoping he has like a long career, even if it's a backup, 10, 12 years. If he can just be a backup, get some spot starts here and there, and I just hope he makes some money. And you know, sorry, Trey.
I don't want to dump on him too much, but I was recently it was like a month ago, I was listening to Larry Krueger's show, and they were talking about just watching Trey in practice when it was open media, and like they basically said they've never seen a quarterback like whiff that bad. Like he was just chucking passes out of bounds. They were like, what's going on? Who did the Niners just draft? And
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. It's funny, I think it was his rookie year. There were some clips that leaked on social media of practice, and there was like 3 plays. One of these, maybe I'll try and find them one sometime and I'll play them. And you watch these 2 or 3 throws that he makes, and you're like, dude, we just drafted Patrick Mahomes 2.0. Like he looks that good. The movement, the arm angle, the throw, the accuracy, it was pinpoint. But it seemed like he could make really difficult throws, but just the routine throws he just could not make. I'll try to find those clips because they are incredible.
Who did the 4th round pick that we got from the Cowboys turn into? Did it at least turn into a solid player at all? Do we know?
Yeah, it was Mustafa.
Hey, all right. Well, then the jury's out. It could go up to a D-.
Yeah, would you trade Trey Lance for Malik Mustafa straight up? Yeah, I think I would. All right, 2nd round pick, Aaron Banks, played 53 games, was the starting left guard for 4 years, just signed with the Packers. He's getting like $19.5 million per year. What would you give the Aaron Banks pick?
I'll give him a C because he's still a high 2nd round pick. That's pretty premium draft capital. He was a 4-year starter. He was solid at times. He was pretty solid. He even had years where I feel like he was flirting with being an above average guard. But I mean, I never thought he was that special. I thought he was just solid at best. So I don't think he was too impactful. So I'll just give him a solid C.
I'm going to give him a B minus because I feel like if you get a multi-year starter, um, out of a pick like that, I don't consider 48 a high second round. Isn't that like the middle of the second
I
round?
Minimal.
think I
Yeah.
just I think I just said that thinking it was high because
Yeah,
the
it's
trade
right here.
pick was high.
Yeah.
Pick
Yeah.
48.
Um, I'll give him a B minus. I mean, I had no problem with Aaron Banks and would have been happy to keep him, not for the contract he signed. That's too much money for Aaron Banks. But just Aaron Banks as a player, I thought he was fine. He's not a Pro Bowler, not spectacular, but did his job and, was a decent starting quality guard in the league. So, yeah, B minus for me.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. Probably around a B minus. He played, what is it, 53 games over 4 years. So that's almost all the games. He didn't miss too many. I remember when he was drafted, I heard, the draft experts saying that they didn't understand the pick because he wasn't like a lateral mover. He wasn't athletic, but he was big and strong and he could anchor. So maybe it wasn't really a scheme fit. That's why he was never really popped as like a top guard. Maybe but the Packers kind of run a similar scheme. So to me, he's more like if he went to the Chargers or like Jim Harbaugh, like either Harbaugh or even the Eagles, where you can just kind of run power and push people around. I feel like he'd be better in that scheme. So, but I agree with you, Steven. If you get a 4-year guard starter, it's a decent pick. But you don't see a second contract, and now he's severely overpaid.
Yeah.
So B minus is probably the best I'd give him.
No touchdowns though. Look at those goose eggs.
Yeah, could have gotten more out of that production there. Speaking of a lack of production, Trey Sermon, pick 88. Not a good pick. What do you think, Jason? What do you give that grade?
I guess a D minus. I don't know. He had 500 yards, so that's what's keeping it from being an F. I hardly remember him. Like, even when he did get the ball, I don't really remember what he was like. I know he's still in the league. At least I'm pretty sure he is.
I think he was a backup
picks.
for the Colts last I saw.
Oh, gosh. He was a third-round pick, so that's fairly premium. And a running back, so really bad pick.
Yeah, really good running backs get drafted in the third round. Alvin Kamara was a third-round pick.
I'll go D minus.
I'm going to F on this one too, and part of it is because I'm judging it. At the time, I thought it was a bad pick, and then it proved to be a bad pick. And it was like you were talking about Aaron Banks not being a scheme fit. I feel like I remember everybody saying Trey Sermon is not a scheme fit for the Niners and what they want to do. I know that he was a good running back in college, but it was like it didn't make sense. I remember at the time thinking, okay, we don't really need a running back, but okay, we're the Niners and Kyle Shanahan, so he's going to draft one. But yeah, it just like it seemed like it was bad logic, and then it proved to be bad. So I'm giving him an F because it's to me kind of a waste of a third round pick on a running back that should have never been there.
Yeah, I agree. I would probably have to go an F because, like you said, Steven, he was a bad scheme fit. The only thing I can think of was in college he played with Justin Fields, who was obviously very mobile. The Niners had drafted Trey Lance, so I wonder if they were thinking Trey's mobile. We can get Trey Sermon kind of running similar type of plays. I don't know, but he's more like a if he were to really be like the best version of himself, he would be like I'm drawing a blank. Help me. The Steelers running back who was good for a while had the contract dispute and went to the Jets.
Oh, Le'Veon Bell?
Le'Veon Bell. That's kind of his style. Where like slow, patient, wait for the hole, and then try to squeak through it. Whereas Shanahan wants like one cut and explode up the field. Like that's the Trey Sermon archetype of like the Le'Veon Bell type. Do you agree or disagree?
I feel like Le'Veon Bell was way more explosive than what Trey Sermon is.
Probably.
Like, I feel like Trey Sermon was more of like a plodding power back. Like, I don't ever recall thinking, wow, that was good burst or that was good quickness on any of his stuff. Like,
Hmm.
I think that he was smart, and I think you're right in terms of being patient and finding the hole. Like, I remember
Too patient
thinking,
at times. He would just sit and wait.
yeah, right, right. So I don't know, like, yeah, I think of him more as like a big body back that like you need the blocking to be perfect for him to be effective.
Yeah, maybe I don't remember Le'Veon Bell being super explosive, but when you watch his highlights, he kind of just sits and hangs, and then all of a sudden he just kind of squirts through, and it's like, oh, there's 10 yards.
Well, I think that's the explosion I'm talking about. Is you could be patient and then just go
Yeah,
like you're shot out of a cannon.
yeah.
I don't ever remember feeling that way about Sermon.
I
No,
remember thinking that the Niners were trying to get their version of AJ Dillon from the Packers because that's when he was like super impactful as a RB2 under Aaron Jones, and I thought that's what the Niners were trying to do.
I think that would kind of speak to what Steven's saying, because AJ Dillon's like a big, powerful guy. Maybe they wanted like a goal line back type, but
The guy that I think of, which is probably, not, it's like a disservice to compare him, but I think of LeGarrette Blunt. And
Mhm.
and that's what Trey Sermon, but LeGarrette Blunt was better. Like,
Yeah, LeGarrette's
bigger.
kind of a stud.
Yeah, bigger, better.
yeah.
All right. 49ers had 2 third-round picks. Ambry Thomas, cornerback out of Michigan, made a career off of one single play. The interception against the Rams to ice the game to send the Niners to the playoffs in 2021. Outside that, this dude was just not good. I feel like he was a worse practice player than a game player, because every time I heard about him in practice, he couldn't stay within 5 yards of anybody.
Yes.
And he started missing time toward the end of his 9 or 10 year. Then he eventually got cut and started arguing with fans on social media. Apparently, Adam Peters pounded the table for Ambry Thomas. That was his guy. So I'm going to give this draft or this pick an F.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I was gonna, man, I'm kind of rethinking mine now. I was gonna go C minus just because of that pick, but I'm gonna shift down a little bit. I'm gonna go D plus. I remember thinking
Maybe I'll go
early
D
on.
minus. He did make that one play. That was a big play. I'll give him D minus.
I remember thinking that like early on that he actually could be something, and then like I feel like he showed potential his first year. Maybe I'm misremembering that, and then he just like fizzled out, injuries, never was consistent, was getting roasted in practice, getting roasted in games when he did play. So yeah, he never turned into anything. I feel like I don't know what team he's on now, but I assume he's on some practice squad. I feel like that's the player he is as a practice squad player.
We're just gonna say backup for the Colts whenever we don't know.
He probably is. So I'll go D plus.
So I'll stick with the grade that I was gonna say going in. I'm gonna give it a solid D. And part of the reason it's a D is because we're now getting to the range in the draft where it's like you can't have high expectations, in my opinion. Like, it's just outside of the top 100, so they should still be a pretty good player. But, like, I don't mind taking a shot on a DB, after the top 100, and if it doesn't pan out. So that's why I'm not being too harsh on the pick.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the production was not good. I like have this weird feeling that almost like he didn't totally get a fair shake, but I also think that he probably didn't earn it, So it's like it's on him for not getting that fair shake. So it seemed like he should be better than he was. Is what it felt like when you would see him make some plays, or just see him on the field, like his size. It's like you got all the tools. Why aren't you putting them together? But anyways,
just can't guard anybody.
He ran a 4.3 something. He was super fast. He had decent size. I mean, I remember thinking he played at the University of Michigan for Jim Harbaugh. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember thinking, dude, I think they just made a good pick here.
Yep.
By the
I
way,
thought the same.
after the Niners, he went to the Colts.
Oh my God.
I just looked it up, but he is currently a Minnesota Viking.
Okay.
Good for him. I would say wish him the best, but I don't know. After all that smack he talked.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to wish anything on Ambry Thomas. Nothing negative, but, just good luck, dude. Whatever.
Just neutral.
Yep.
Fifth round pick 155, Jalen Moore, tackle out of Western Michigan. I'll go first on Jalen Moore. I'm going to give this grade a B. I think this was a good pick. He was the Niners' swing tackle for a couple of years. I think they tried to play him at guard a little bit, didn't quite work out. He's a fifth round pick. You can't really expect too much. If you get a backup tackle for 4 years, a guy who played 7 starts last year for the Niners and in Trent Williams' absence, and played well enough that the Chiefs gave him a 2-year, $30 million contract to protect the blind side of Patrick Mahomes. So I think they made a good pick here, and I wish the Niners could have kept him, but not for even remotely close to what he earned. So good luck, Jalen Moore, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, I feel the same. I'll give it a B. It's funny looking at all of our fifth round picks, like all just got paid. Like we are money in the fifth round. Yeah, I don't have anything extra to share outside of what you did. I think you nailed
you're
it.
right. I didn't even see Hufanga there. I just saw Demo and Jalen.
Yep, they got paid. I'll give it a B as well. I like Jalen.
I am going back and forth between a B plus or an A minus, and I think I'm going to lean A minus because I gave Aaron Banks a B minus as a second round pick, and I think Jalen Moore as a fifth round pick was a better player. Yeah. So I'm like, the pick, yeah, you get an A minus. I mean, I guess if he became the starter, like the unquestioned starter, that would be an A or an A plus at this range. But I don't know that you're expecting a guaranteed starter with your fifth round pick.
No.
So, I really like Jalen Moore as a player. Wish he was still on the Niners. And I think the fact that he got paid what he did in Kansas City goes to show the quality of player he is. So, yeah, I'm going to give him an A minus for that one.
All right, I think we all agree the best player in this draft, Diamador Lenore, cornerback out of Oregon. I'm going to give this draft pick an A. 2 years from now, if he keeps doing what he's been doing for the last 2 years, I'll bump that up to an A+. As of right now, I'm going to give him an A. I love me some Diamador Lenore. I'm glad that they signed him to an extension. I'm glad they got it done early, and they got him at a good price. C-Niners, maybe get him done early. It benefits the player, or not necessarily the player, but the team. I'm a big Diamador Lenore fan. I love his play. I love his trash talk. I'm very happy to have him on the squad. I'm going to give that an A. What about you, Jason?
Yeah, I'm going to give an A as well. I mean, look at the value. A fifth round pick turning into... Was he a Pro Bowler last year or get snubbed? I can't remember.
Pretty sure he got snubbed.
Snubbed, yeah.
Okay, well, a Pro Bowl level player. I think he's a beast. He brings the feistiness that the Niners defense needs and is going to need, especially with no Dre Greenlaw anymore. I love him. I'll definitely give it an A with potential to move up to an A+, depending if he continues to get better. Because I think he can. I think he can still get even better.
Yeah, I agree.
I believe I've made my feelings on Lenore clear in previous pods, so this is an easy A++ for me. Like,
wow.
I think, all the things you guys said is true. The fact that you do a second contract with the team that drafted you and it's for a significant amount of money, that shows that you're a premier player. And to get that guy, to get your probably best DB on the squad in the fifth round, and the guy that's so versatile,
can play the slot, can play outside.
You hit a grand slam with this one. He's got the right attitude, right makeup, all the things. So, yeah, love Lenore. Like, so happy that they kept him, and A++ for me.
I think if he had come in his rookie year and just took off right away, I'd probably give him an A plus. But since it took him like 2 years to develop, which is normal for a late round pick, that's expected, and he evolved into an excellent player. Is he Richard Sherman level? Richard was a 5th round pick. I mean, Richard came in right away and was like, "Oh my gosh, how did this guy go in the 5th round?" He was like,
Yeah,
right
you
away, he
can't
was
throw the
really good.
ball.
That's like, and Richard's a Hall of Famer. So that to me is like A plus. Diamador Lenore is just a step behind that, and if he keeps doing what he's doing, we'll give him an A plus. But if he can be your starting corner, outside corner, slot corner for like 6, 7, 8 years, and you get him in the 5th round, that's a hell of a draft pick.
See, and I'm not, look, everybody's giving him an A and we are all making it clear how much we love him. I think part of the reason for my plus plus, other than my affinity for him, is where he was drafted. So like you're right, like the ideal scenario is Richard Sherman or a Hall of Famer that you get in the 5th round. That doesn't happen very often. But I feel like if you moved Lenore up to a 2nd round pick, then I might be more like an A minus, even though I love him so much. But because of where he's at, I'm like, yeah, A plus plus. Like it's that's the only reason I'm saying that. And you're right, there are better examples of 5th round pick players in the history, but those are A plus pluses as well. Like
George Kittle, Richard Sherman, those are Hall of Fame players.
Right. So like, yeah, they are, but so is this guy. But anyways.
Ooh, maybe a bold prediction there. Diamador Lenore, future Hall of Famer. The 3rd, 5th round pick, Talanoa Hufanga, the only guy on this list, which a quick check, the only guy on this list who's made an All-Pro, even if Lenore is arguably deserved it. This one's interesting because he came in his rookie year and he was still backing up Jaquaski Tart and Jimmy Ward. So he was the 3rd safety, but the Niners clearly liked him. So they used 3 safety looks to try and get him on the field. And he popped several times throughout his rookie year. The 2nd year, they move on from Tart. They make him the starter. In the first, 8, 9, 10 games of the season, it's like, dude, we just got like, oh my gosh.
I know who you're trying to
Troy
say.
Polamalu light. Like, he's not Polamalu, but he's like, this is like a light version of Troy Polamalu. He looks incredible. And then he kind of tailed off. Like, he kind of had a slow end to the season, but he made so many big plays early that he earned himself an All-Pro nod. And then year 3, rips the ACL.
Oof.
And then year 4, which was last season, missed some time, I think, early in the season for the ACL, came back and then had maybe a wrist injury or something and missed a bunch more time. And then the season kind of went south on the Niners, and now he's a Denver Bronco. All of a sudden, he went from like all-pro safety to like 2 years have gone by, and he hasn't really played for the Niners. So, but he's picked 180. I also just personally really liked Hufanga. I thought he was like a really good dude, good locker room guy. I don't know. I'm gonna give him a B. Because, like you said, Steven, he's a late pick. He had 1 All-Pro season. He was a energy guy, a team, not a captain, but a team leader. And unfortunately, his injuries stopped him from being maybe an A player. But I'm going to give Talanoa a B.
Yeah, that's exactly the grade I was going to give for the reasons that you gave. Based on where he was drafted, he definitely exceeded that. He played really solid at times. Sometimes he couldn't cover anybody and was getting roasted, but he's a 5th rounder, so you don't, what can you expect at a certain degree? So based on the solid play we did get, I think he was also a pretty good special teamer, especially those first couple years as well, and a very good locker room presence. So I'll give him a B as well.
I'm a solid A on him.
What?
I'm a solid A.
Really?
He couldn't cover anybody.
It's not about judging the player so much, because he is a flawed player to a certain degree, but not as flawed as I would expect a 5th round safety to be. Like, and like you said, he made an All-Pro. and he made big plays. Like, he showed up in those moments. How many times do we talk about if you who you going to count on to catch a ball out of the air that gets batted up?
Yeah,
Who's
tough.
right place, right time? Like, he had a nose for the ball, which I think is like the Palomalu comparison, because that's exactly what he would do. So, yeah, for where you got him and what you got out of him, I think it's an A. I also think that they deserve some credit for drafting a guy that basically made himself into this player, because I don't think he was that highly touted. I think some people were kind of like, all right, I mean, we'll see if this is going to work out. Like, it wasn't like, ooh, the Niners got something here. But it seemed like it was his work ethic and his character that, like, really carried him to be what he became. And I feel like they should get some credit for drafting a guy with that work ethic and with that character. Now, that's him making them look good. But, yeah, so I'm a solid A on the pick. I mean, he's a late 5th round pick towards the end of the round, and your second to last pick in this draft, and you get a guy who, even if he didn't totally deserve it, made an all-pro team and made some big plays and was impactful. And I'm not punishing him or the team's decision for the injuries, because I don't necessarily know that he's injury prone yet. I think he might have just had some bad luck, but we'll see. I mean, it could turn out that he's injury prone, and then in a way, it's almost like they're even smarter, because they didn't sign him to that expensive second contract. They got out of him his best years. So, anyways, I'm still an A on this because of where they got him and what he did for them.
I think the injury prone tag for Huff might be fair, maybe not, but he was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year his final year in college, but he fell, from what I understand, because he didn't have like supreme athleticism, wasn't very fast, and he was injured in college. And when you watch him play, like he's full speed. Whatever speed he has, he is full speed, and he's not the biggest guy. So when he hits you, like, sometimes he takes those hits, and I wonder if that's why his body gets beat up a little bit. So wishing him well in Denver. I'm going to low-key be rooting for the Broncos in the AFC this year with Dre and Huff. And I kind of like Bo Nix. I got him on my Dynasty League in the middle of the second round. It was a freaking hell of a draft pick by me. I would give that an A+. But so I don't know. They're intriguing. If they can like surpass the Chiefs, that'd be fun.
I like a lot of their players. I just don't really like their head coach.
Yeah, Sean Payton. I mean, kill the head, the body will die. I'll never forget that. I know he didn't say that, but his defensive coordinator said that about Frank Gore, and I'm not gonna.
And he was aware of it.
Yeah. From what I understand about Sean Payton too, like he's like really. I mean, I'm sure all NFL head coaches are pretty confident in themselves, but a lot of people think he's like cocky, like over the top, and he's God's gift to football. Anyway, enough about the Broncos. Elijah Mitchell, 6th round pick, running back. Friggin' stud his rookie year. Never fumbles the ball. Ran hard as hell, tough as hell, played through all sorts of injuries. And then, did he even play in his second, third, or fourth year? I honestly don't even really remember. It's hard to say. I would still give this draft pick like, oh man, they got him so late, pick 194. But I feel like they only got 1 year of production out of him his rookie year. He literally didn't play a snap last season. He was ruled out in preseason or in training camp. So, I don't know. B.
I was going to go B+ just because of that one great year and because of how late of a draft pick he was, but I don't feel too strongly about it. I didn't want them to re-sign him, even though I think he's a good player and that he can be productive for a number of years still, but super, super injury prone, as injury prone as they come. And I very much appreciate him for that 1 year, and I wish him the best.
Yeah, I'm just a solid B on this one. Honestly, I feel like if you only got one good season out of a late 6th round pick, that is a huge win.
That's
because I don't
good,
think I don't think you ever expected. He led the team in rushing that year. You know, he almost had 1,000 yards as a like unknown rookie. So I feel like just that season, even factoring in the no contribution for the rest of the years, it's a B just by itself for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember the Niners signed Jet McKinnon, who ripped his ACL a couple times, never really played for the Niners. And then he went to the Chiefs and was just healthy for several years and had some good moments for them. Who knows? Maybe Elijah Mitchell's going to follow a similar path and have a injury-riddled Niner career and then go to the Chiefs and just be a good back for 3 years.
I think he's going to be a good back if he gets the opportunities. I mean, you guys heard me talking about him even as like a sneaky, maybe you keep him candidate and let Mason walk. And they ended up just letting both of them walk, but still.
Yeah, they're like, we'll draft somebody. This draft is rife with backs. They're going to draft at least one. You want to take a look at the 2022 draft?
Do you think we have time? Because we spent a lot of time on that, and I know I want to do your trivia. Like maybe we can save 2022 for the next one.
All right, we'll save 2022. I don't know if we'll get into the highlights. Maybe we'll watch one or two players at the end.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends. If you want to stick with the draft review, I'm down. I just don't know that we're going to be able to do draft review and highlights. And trivia.
Yeah, four players. Maybe we'll just watch like one player. Let's do you know what? I already closed the tab for the 2022 draft, so let's do some trivia.
Sweet.
So this is, I got my notes here in front of me. First thing I noticed, this is not trivia. This is just an observation.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Purdy is officially the 10th best quarterback in 49ers history because he ranks exactly 10th in touchdowns with 60. Maybe I shouldn't say the number. That might give away some of the... actually, no, it won't, because the other guys, you don't know where they're at. Touchdowns, 64. Completion, 722. Yards, 9,518. He ranks exactly 10th in all three of those categories.
Those are all 10th, huh?
Those are all 10th. So, congratulations, Brock. As far as I'm concerned, you're officially the 10th best quarterback in 49ers
Top 10,
history.
baby.
10.
Franchise history already made it.
Hey, Jed York just
Congrats,
said
Brock.
he's a top 10 quarterback. So, was he talking Niners all time? Was he talking current NFL? Who knows? Pay the man, Jed. All right. This is going to be a random question, and then we'll get into like specific quarterback stuff. But there are 4 players in 49ers passing history. Only one of them is a quarterback. They all have a 100% touchdown percentage, which means every pass they threw was for a touchdown. Now, I'll give you some hints. Every one of these players only threw one pass. Only one of them was a quarterback. I guarantee you will not guess who that was because this is a long time ago. But 2 of the players are in the Shanahan era. 1 player, Jim Harbaugh era.
So the one quarterback is from way back when.
1963.
Yeah, all right.
His name's Mike Lind. I'll just tell you that one.
Yeah.
Now there are 3 other players. 1 from Harbaugh era, 1 from Shanahan era, all of which have thrown 1 pass and a win for a touchdown.
You said 2 from the Shanahan era, right?
2 from Shanahan. Yeah, sorry. 2 from Shanahan, 1 from Harbaugh era.
So do we just start guessing and
Yeah, do
Just
we
take
take
some guesses,
turns?
see if you can figure out who they are.
I was gonna say Juwan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings and Christian McCaffrey are my 2 guesses for the Shanahan era.
Christian McCaffrey, that's one, 2022. Did he throw it to Juwan, I think? Or no,
Yes.
it was to Ayuk.
Okay.
I don't remember.
I remember the play, actually. It was a touchdown pass to Ayuk.
So Juwan has thrown more than that 1 Super Bowl pass, huh?
Yeah.
It's a stud. Emmanuel Sanders.
Ding, ding, ding. 2019, yeah. Emmanuel Sanders threw a touchdown to Raheem Mostert against the Saints in that 48-45 game. Or 48-46, whatever it was.
I think I had Mostert on my fantasy team that year. I think.
And now
So
the
the-
Jim Harbaugh era player. Good luck with this one. This is easily the hardest one. I would have never guessed this.
Can't be harder than Mike Lynn or whoever, but
True. I've never even heard Mike Lind.
Is it Mario Manningham? Was he?
whoa.
Not
look
a
at
bad
that
guess,
poll.
but no.
I'm impressed.
There's a
You
poll
even-
right there.
Yeah, that is impressive.
I paid
Um,
attention.
Kendall Hunter.
Oh,
Nope.
Michael James.
Nope.
Is it an offensive player?
No.
Okay.
Oh, is a punter then?
Ooh, now you're thinking.
Who was our punter?
Well, I don't remember if they drafted Pinion or if that was after Harbaugh.
It's not Pinion.
Bradley Pinion. Ah,
Yeah, I don't know. Is it a kicker or a punter?
it's got to be a punter.
Kicker.
Okay.
Oh.
Fake field goal.
Was
Actually,
it
I don't even know. It
Akers?
could have been a bad snap and he picked it up and threw it. I don't even remember the play.
Did
David
Akers
Akers?
do it?
It was David Akers.
Wow.
One pass, one touchdown.
So Harbaugh didn't go for a lot of trick plays like that then.
Who did he throw it to?
I didn't even look it up. I'm not sure. I might have to look that up.
Vernon
So you know
Davis.
what's funny? You say Harbaugh didn't go for a lot of trick plays, but I remember specifically because I thought it was super smart where they did a play with Crabtree on. I thought it was a field goal. I'm wondering if this was the play. I don't remember if it was successful or not, but they had him. It was like they were going to go for a field goal, and he ran off, or like he was
Yeah.
going to run off the field, and stopped just short of the sideline and stayed
Yeah.
stood there to make it look like he was coming out, but he didn't actually come out. And then they had 10 other guys go line up for the field goal, and then they went to him, or they tried, and for whatever reason, I feel like it didn't work. Like I feel like there was a penalty or something
I
on
think
the
it
play.
was a penalty. I think I remember that play.
I was like, dude, that if you can catch somebody off guard, that is super smart.
The Browns did that with Johnny Manziel one year. I think playing us. I'm not 100% sure though.
See, I feel like with Manziel, I don't know. To me, that seems obvious if there's an extra quarterback on the field. But if you have a guy that's like a position player that might be in, might not be in, you don't really know, and he just runs over there and makes it seem like, am I coming off or not, coach, or whatever, and then just kind of stays there. Then, oh, shoot, get set. I feel like it could work really well.
I'm trying to find the video. I can't, but I just confirmed it was to Michael Crabtree.
Oh.
Oh. Why would he even be in on a field goal?
That's David Akers' career highlight. That and his 63-yarder.
I did see that video. All right.
That's funny that Shanahan's got it twice.
Yeah. It's always the same play, too. The
I
little,
do not
double
remember.
reverse.
Yeah, I do not remember the Emmanuel Sanders one, but
I do. It was like a Kobe fadeaway. Like, he was like,
Oh.
Debo pitched him the ball on the double reverse, and he was like fading away and chucked it. And Raheem was open and just walked into the end zone.
Kyle's offense was so sick that year when Raheem was healthy.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
he just went nuts against the Packers.
the glass cannon.
Yeah. Okay. Who has more passing yards? C.J. Beathard, Sean Hill, Tim Rattay.
I'm going Beathard.
He's third place.
I just don't know the other two.
I'll give you a hint. They're all within like 150 yards of each other. Pretty close.
Really, I'm surprised. I'm surprised Beathard is that high. I'm gonna say that it's Tim Rattay in first place, and then Sean Hill.
It's Sean Hill, number 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
And then Beathard 2, Tim Rattay 3. So Sean Hill threw for 3,490. Beathard threw for 3,469. And Tim Rattay 3,941.
3,941.
Wait, is my writing off on that? Oh, you know what? I think I read that wrong. It is Tim Rattay. I thought
gonna
that
say-
9 was a 4 because I wrote them real small, trying to fit a bunch on here. 3,940. So you were right. Tim Rattay, Sean Hill, Beathard.
I remember watching Rattay and Sean Hill play, and the only way that Sean Hill would have beaten him there is if he played a lot longer, which he probably did play longer, but I don't think it was that much longer.
He would have needed 7 or 8 games to make up that 500-yard mark. All right, so that was good. Games played. This is just games played, not necessarily started. Games played. Alex Smith, Jeff Garcia, Colin Kaepernick.
Okay,
Alex
so
Smith.
hold on. Games played like they got in or just in uniform?
Got in the game.
Got in the game.
Mhm.
Okay. Appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Big Smith, baby.
Alex Smith or who?
Jeff Garcia, Colin Kaepernick.
I'll go Smith, Garcia, Kaepernick.
Wow. It's a hard one, Ryan, because I think you might be right with Alex Smith just because of the amount of years that he ended up being there. How many years was Cap the starter though?
They're all within 11 games of each other.
Oh Jesus. Okay.
Like I won't tell you who's who, but the top guy has 80, the bottom guy is 69.
Okay. Okay. You said what was your order, Chasen?
I went Alex Smith, Sean Hill, Kaepernick.
Oh, it was
Jeff
Garcia.
Or Jeff
Garcia.
Garcia. Jeff Garcia, number 2.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Jeff Garcia.
Jason nailed it.
Oh, good job.
Alex Smith with 80, Jeff Garcia 74, Kaepernick 69.
All right.
Nice job, Jason. All right. Touchdown passes. Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo, Colin Kaepernick.
Steven, I'll let you go first since I keep going first.
These are within 9 of each other.
Yeah, you're like just these guys grouped together.
Well, I wasn't going to pick Joe Montana, Jimmy G, and Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice has more passing yards than David Carr. That was a fun little fact I saw.
As a Niner or as
a Niner.
Okay, I was gonna say, or for career. I didn't think David Carr was that bad, but
No,
okay.
just as a Niner.
Okay, give me the 3 again. We're looking for touchdown passes, ranked in order.
Yeah. Alex Smith, Jimmy G, Colin Kaepernick.
Well, I'm gonna say Kaepernick, Jimmy, Alex.
I'm going to go Alex, Kaepernick, Jimmy.
Neither one of you got it. Steven, you got it in reverse.
Oh, perfect.
Alex Smith has the most, or I'm sorry. What'd you say, Jason?
I said Alex Smith, Kaepernick,
Okay.
and then Jimmy.
Okay, so neither of you got it right. And actually, Steven, you didn't get it in reverse. Jimmy G has the most with 82.
Wow.
Alex Smith comes in second with 81.
Oh,
And Kaepernick, third place, 72.
dang.
Letting me down, Cap.
Rushing touchdowns, he'd probably have them.
I know Jimmy Guap threw so many tutties.
I know.
Dang, Jim.
All right, I got 2 more. Most career wins. CJ Beathard, Troy Smith, or Blaine Gabbert.
Wow.
Oh my God, I have no idea. I'm going to go first because I am
I'll
literally
give you a hint.
guessing.
It's all single digits.
I'm going to go Beathard, Gabbert, and Troy Smith. That's going to be my guess.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to say Troy Smith, number 1. And then I'm going to go Gabbert, then Beathard.
The Blaine Gabbert disrespect will not be tolerated on this podcast. He is number 1 with 4 wins.
I made him number 2. It wasn't that disrespectful.
I know, I'm kidding. Troy Smith with 3 comes in second, and Beathard only had 2 wins.
Dang.
Wow. I thought Troy Smith had a little bit of a hot streak, but I guess it was only a 2-game hot streak.
It might have been a 2, maybe 3 games. If he won 3 games in a row, that'd be impressive, but I doubt he did that. All right, last one. Game-winning drives.
Ooh.
Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jeff Garcia.
Oh my God.
I'll give you a hint. Well,
You go
not a
first,
hint.
Jim.
Just the top guy has 11. The third guy has 9. It's 11, 10, 9.
11, 10, 9.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who were the 3 again?
Alex Smith, Jimmy G, Jeff Garcia.
I'm going that order that you just said.
I'm gonna go Jimmy G, Alex Smith, Jeff Garcia.
Maybe I should say them differently because I did list them from most to least. As soon as Steven said that, I was like, oh shit, I wonder if I gave it away. It's Alex Smith with 11, Jimmy with 10, Jeff with 9.
I wasn't thinking that you said it in the order, honestly. I just, when you said it that way, I was like, all right, well, Alex Smith has played the most games, and, so anyways.
That's all I got.
Pretty
I liked it.
pretty fun, yeah. Random Niner quarterback trivia.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say Joe Montana or Steve Young's name once because every time I tried to include them, it was so obvious. Even if it was like most interceptions, like they've just done everything so much more than the other guys. So, and Y.A. Tittle's name was up there quite a bit too. But I didn't necessarily expect you guys to hit on Y.A. Tittle or John Brody, whose name was near the top as well. But it's like Alex Smith, Cap, Jimmy, Garcia, like those 4 guys are all pretty close in a lot of their stats.
Garcia has shown bright for a while. He just didn't have a long tenure.
Yeah. Was he a Canadian football guy? Is that where he came from?
I didn't. I feel like he played in a different league. Like it wasn't even Canadian. Like I want to say he was playing for some other like
Mexican
XFL,
football,
like some other U.S. league or something. But I don't know if I don't remember. He might have been. He might have played in the Canadian league too. Yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere because it was that season that Steve Young got the concussion that like ended his career. So he got thrust into, the lineup, and then he was not terrible, and he kind of improved. I know he made at least one Pro Bowl, and he might have made more than one, and that's pretty good as a quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'll never forget the comeback against the Giants. That was like amazing. One of my earliest, like, best Niner memories was that game.
It was, that was great.
Okay, do you want to watch a couple edge rushers and we'll fit them into our big board? I'm looking at our big board right now. We only have 5 players. We don't even have enough to get to 11 yet.
We know who we want.
Let's do a couple. That's cool with me.
I have Georgia's edge rusher, Mykel Williams, Tennessee edge rusher, James Pierce Jr. Where'd Shamar Stewart play? Texas A&M edge, Shamar Stewart, and Marshall edge, Mike Green.
Oh yeah, give me some Green.
All right, let's do Mike Green here. And if it's not playing for you guys, then just tell me, so we don't have another mix-up like last time. All right, are you seeing it?
Yeah, seeing it.
Yeah.
So here's what I know about Mike Green. Unfortunately, I have to start negative. He's been accused of sexual assault twice. Yep. Once in high school, once in college when he was at the University of Virginia, and then he ended up transferring to Marshall. I think he led the country in sacks last season with like 17 or something like that. In college they play like 12, 13 games if you go deep. So he averaged more than a sack a game. He's a smaller guy, 250-ish pounds. He's not like a big hulking edge rusher, kind of a D Ford archetype. I mean, there he just got double teamed and he still made a play.
Looks super athletic.
So go ahead, Chase.
I was gonna say he's destined to be a Philadelphia Eagle based on how you described him.
He's a Kansas City. He's got Chiefs or Eagles written all over him. I mean, I've seen him projected like a second round. I've seen him projected mid first round. It seems like there's going to be teams who are like, man, we really like this guy, and we're going to kind of look past whatever personal issues or off the field issues he has. And there are teams who might just, like, I wonder about the Niners. They don't really draft guys who have a history like this. I wonder if he's even on their board.
Probably not.
Even if he's there at pick 43 for the Niners, like, would they? I don't know. There's a lot of edge rushers in this draft I like. There's a guy out of Arkansas, Landon Jackson, who's projected to be a second round pick. I would just tell you I'd rather have him.
He looks kind of short too, not just like thin. He doesn't
Just
look
say
real tall.
I'm not overly impressed watching his tape.
I mean, he's not a big guy like Landon Jackson, I just mentioned. He's a monster. He's like one of the first guys, as they say, like off the bus when you want to intimidate the opposing team. The first guys that walk off the bus are out of the tunnel. Landon Jackson is that guy. He's kind of my second round draft crush right now. Mike Green is not that guy.
He looks super quick though. Like you can see the athleticism.
Yeah. My thing with Mike Green is like he seems just like a pass rush guy only. Like on base downs when the team's 1st and 10 and they're running the ball, Mike Green's either getting engulfed by some monster NFL tackle or he's on the sideline watching.
Yeah.
He does look small.
I have a feeling that NFL tackles are gonna be able to handle him.
His body type and the way his body moves kind of reminds me of Michael Parsons. Just being a thinner guy, athleticism, hustle.
I was thinking, who was the little guy that was really good for the Bucks the year they won the Super Bowl?
Devin White?
No, he was is it like Shaq something? Do they have an edge rusher?
Shaq Thompson?
Shaq Barrett?
Shaq Barrett.
But
Yeah.
he's been in the league for a long time. I guess that's it for Mike Green.
I like that guy. He looks good.
Yeah, let's watch his tape, see if he's any good.
He might have a future.
We'll see. He's probably poor, I'm sure. All right, let me share the screen here with my. So where we slide Mike Green in here? To me, it's easy. He's 6.
Yeah.
Which one was Will Johnson again?
He was the
Cornerback.
corner out of Michigan.
We have him that low, huh? Yeah, so Mike Green's definitely 6 for me.
I like Will Johnson, but there's another corner from Texas, Jedi Barron, who I really like too.
I kind of feel like we might need to swap our 4 and 5, but it's fine.
Kenneth Grant and Will,
Thought you wanted a D tackle.
I do want a D tackle, but
but Will Johnson might be the better player. I mean, Kenneth Grant he's mocked anywhere from mid first to I've seen people mock him to the Niners at pick 43.
Wow.
I would love him as pick 43.
Yeah,
Me too.
You want me to swap him? I'm okay with that. I like Will Johnson.
I'm fine with it.
I mean, these aren't set in stone. Let's go.
Until we hear Adam Peters pound the table for Kenneth Grant.
All right, congratulations, Will Johnson. You've moved up in the world. The other 3 edge rushers I like a lot more. Mykel Williams is probably one of the guys who's ranked the highest. Oops, I had the volume playing. His highlight's only like 3 minutes long, so we'll watch this one real quick. But he, I've heard a lot of people either love him or hate him.
By the way, I didn't respond to your comment about Green. I know we're trying to move on, but I don't think the Niners will have him on their board for the reasons that you said. I think they learned their lesson with Reuben Foster, and they're done with those kind of guys.
I will say, the Niners are all the teams are doing their 30 visits right now. You get like in person, bring him to the facility, 30 visits. Mike Green was one of their visits, so I'm sure they're probing that pass to kind of see what's going on there. I believe, I don't know if his name's pronounced Mykel Williams or Michael Williams. It's just spelled different, but he was one of their visits as well.
Is this the guy you were just talking to us about that you really like?
No, that's Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. He's more of a second round projection. Right now, I'm just trying to list like the top 10 or 11 guys who we want the Niners to pick at 11. And this guy's projected to be kind of a top 10, top 15 pick.
Looks bigger, longer, not as quick.
He's bigger. I should have had his like stats. Maybe I'll look him up real quick. Are you guys still able to see as I'm Googling here?
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
I like that he went to Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between Georgia and Marshall, that's a big deal. 6'5", 260. 34 and a 3/8 inch arms.
Wow.
Big boy.
Yeah. It's got the
Yeah,
build.
he's like first guy off the bus type guy.
Mhm.
Let me just look up Mike Green's size real quick.
I think he's a pretty small fella.
6'3", 250.
I feel like 6'3" is generous, but I guess.
I think it's pretty common for football players to be listed half an inch or an inch taller and 5 or 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Picked it. Ooh.
I like that there's some run play highlights,
Yeah.
but I just like how he looks.
Yeah, I mean everyone likes how he looks. He's got the size, the speed, the athleticism. The other guy, Shamar Stewart, who I have here too, he's the same way. Like if you could build him in a lab, like this is your prototypical edge rusher.
Don't like that he celebrated early and didn't get that fumble.
Yeah, come on, man. Play through the whistle.
Ooh.
That's
Nowhere
why you
to
just
go.
threw that tackle off him. Yeah, to me, it's like all these guys can probably rush the passer a little bit.
Ooh. Watch
Can
out.
you play the run?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want like Eric Armstead edge rusher. Like play the run. You don't have to be a sweet pass rusher. Stuff the run. That's priority number one. We can figure out who can get the quarterback later. Nick Bosa will go get the quarterback. Can you play the run? All right, let me pull up our big board here again.
I'll slot him before Mike Green, but after everyone else.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think, Steven?
Wow.
By the way, I think I would probably agree. If Mykel Williams is there, it's between him and Kenneth Grant. I might lean Kenneth Grant. I think Grant
Okay.
is.
I was gonna put him in front of Kenneth Grant, but that's fine. I'm good if you both want to put him right after Kenneth Grant. I'm good with that.
I got a little draft crush on Kenneth Grant.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I like Kenneth Grant. 11 might be a little rich, but he's really big and he's super athletic, and he's not going to be there at pick 43 for the Niners. So either take him at 11 or just accept that he's not going to be on your team.
Or
Unless they somehow people keep
trade
saying
down.
trade back. I want them to trade back, but you have
Trade
to
down to the late teens and grab him there.
That'd be great.
Let me
That'd
ask
be
you
sweet.
this, okay? Because I want the Niners to trade back. I've heard just everyone who does Niners draft stuff trade back, get more picks. Okay, great. But someone has to trade up in order for you to trade back. You don't just get to trade back. So
Yeah.
here's my question: who could fall to 11 that a team is going to want to trade up for that the Niners are not going to want? I
Like a
thought.
quarterback.
See, that was my first thought. My thought was, well, Shador. If
Mhm.
Shador Sanders falls to 11, a team could want to pick him. But if Shador fell to 11, do you think the Niners are going to pick him? Because if
No.
not, then he's going to fall to 12. Do you think the Cowboys are going to pick him? Maybe with the Deion Sanders Cowboys connection, but probably not. They just paid Dak, which means he's now going to fall to 13. So why would you trade with the Niners to get Shador? My answer, actually, unless you guys want to touch on that.
Well, you
Go
do
for
it. You do it because you're worried about somebody else jumping in there.
Right.
Yeah.
And if the Niners are a willing trade partner, then you don't take that chance. You want to get your guy. But anyways, go ahead. Your answer.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I feel like if you're maybe a little risky or getting greedy, you could let him fall one or two more spots.
Yeah.
But my answer was actually Ashton Genty, because I think the
Mm.
Cowboys could be I think there's a lot of talk between Genty and the Cowboys. Genty is a Cowboy fan. Apparently he grew up a Cowboy fan. We know the Cowboys need a running back. They would probably love to get Genty. And if you wanted
Yeah.
to snipe him from the Cowboys, that could be the guy that a team trades up with. Trades up with the Niners. I don't know if it's Shador, and I don't know if there's anybody else other than Genty. I mean, maybe an edge rusher, maybe like a defensive tackle, or
There's not
Mike
too
Green.
many positions I feel like that are worth doing that, but I was thinking maybe a corner. So if like like I don't know if it's Will Johnson, but if there's an obvious really good corner left and it's like the last good corner, yeah, the Niners could use one, but not like desperate need. So if somebody wanted to move up to get that corner at 11 and they knew that corner wasn't going to make it to 16 or 18 or wherever they're at, I could see something like that. But you're right that it's kind of a tricky spot to be in because it's like most of the positions of the guys that would be like premier players, like the Niners should probably just go ahead and take them themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Armand Membu might be a guy that a team wants to trade up with. If I'm the Niners, just pick him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like Mason Graham, if he falls to 11, a team's probably going to be like, ooh, let's go get Mason
Ooh.
Graham. Niners should just
Don't-
pick Mason Graham.
Don't get
Oh.
Chasen's hopes up.
Yeah, so like I'm trying to figure out who could fall to 11 that a team in the teens is going to want that they would want to snipe from like the Cowboys or something. And
Abdul Carter.
Oh my gosh.
I would, well, see, he's got a weird off the field stuff too and a foot issue. So maybe the Niners would say, yeah, go ahead, come get him. Who knows? I doubt he would be available at 11, but
No, I don't think he would be either. But you're saying what kind of guys would be, what teams be willing to trade up for?
so I think we're just under 2 weeks from the draft.
That's crazy. It's already here.
I know it's
I'm
here.
so excited.
We'll look at a few more players in the next one. We're a little over an hour, so we'll call it here. Here's what I want you guys to do just between now and the draft. Find your draft crush that's not a first round pick.
Oh,
Because
I love
to me, those are too easy. Rounds
I love
2
Mason
through 7,
Graham.
find a guy at any point in there that you think would be a good fit for the Niners and you'd like to see them get. Any position.
all right.
Just can't
All
be a
right.
first round guy.
We'll
All
do.
right.
And then I was talking to my buddy Alex, who's obviously went to UCLA. He follows UCLA football really closely. Maybe he'll be our first guest since I won't mention any names, but the people I reached out to won't seem to answer me back. I'll keep trying, but we'll see. But Alex said he would want to come on and talk about some of the UCLA prospects. Oluwafemi Oladejo, that's a tough name, but there's been a lot of hype between him and the Niners. And they have a linebacker, Carson Swessinger, who's predicted to be a second or third round pick. He would look fire in the red and gold next to Fred Warner.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple other guys. So maybe we'll have Alex on in our next show and we'll talk some UCLA prospects.
All right.
All right.
All right. That's all I got. Anything else you guys want to quickly hit on?
Let's get Brock signed, huh?
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Not right now. We won't be talking about that breaking news between now and our next episode. My guess is whenever OTAs are, which I think is like mid or late May, like that's the soft deadline.
I was really hoping they could get it done before the draft.
Yeah. There's no reason to, though.
Stinking Niners.
Just
Like-
to make me feel better. That's the reason. Come on.
Well, Jed, if you're listening, just make us feel better and just get it done, please.
Yeah, Jed, I've been a big defender of you and the organization for a long time, and I'm starting to question the tactics. So don't make me question them.
Like you said, make a good faith effort and just get it done. All right. But we know the Niners are ruthless, so they don't make good faith efforts.
Ruthless.
All right. Oh, and here's one thing. Here's one more thing. The next episode we do, when we watch a couple more prospects to add to our big board, each of you bring one guy that's not on our list here. I'll tell you mine. I want to do Jalen Walker, the linebacker out of Georgia. So you two pick one guy who's projected to be a top 15-ish pick that you guys want to watch, and we'll do those three guys.
Regardless of position, just any guy.
Whoever you want.
Ooh, I'm bringing an offensive tackle, baby.
We already did those.
I mean, unless you think Kelvin Banks is worth the 11th pick.
Yeah.
I don't. But if that's the guy you want to watch, bring him. Anybody you want.
All right. I like it.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Peace out.